this is what I'm going to talk about today, right? Is filling your habit gaps with healthy alternatives. Filling your habit gaps with healthy alternatives. Let me explain. Right, so I've been doing loads and loads of research over the years on habits, how they're formed, the science of habits, making them really small, making them easy, all different types of things. And I've experimented with everything. And many of you will know, if you've ever done a mastermind with me, like I'm a big believer in trying to do things without realizing you're doing them. For example, I talk a lot about NEAT exercise, N-E-A-T exercise, which is non-essential exercise thermogenesis, right? What a mouthful. Let's just stick with NEAT. But you get the idea, right? The concept behind that is that NEAT exercise is all the exercise you do without formally exercising. So when you walk to the shops, that is NEAT exercise. Or when you carry the shopping bags back at the moment, that is NEAT exercise, right? Because obviously you're having to use your muscles, you're walking with a load, whether that's 1 kilometre or 2 kilometres if you walk to the shops right now to get your daily exercise. That's called NEAT energy. You're not in the gym, you're not doing a spin class, you're just moving between A and B, going up and down the stairs, cleaning the house, gardening. It's all NEAT exercise, right? It's a brilliant way to lay a really powerful foundation of health and vitality without actually doing anything formal, right? So then it doesn't matter so much if you can't make it to the spin class or whatever it is you do. Obviously at the moment, things are not quite as easy as they once were, but you get the idea. Anyway, so I've been thinking about that a lot, trying to think, how can we replicate that with like mental exercise? Like what's a way to try and slot these things that I've been talking about over the last couple of weeks about like positivity conditioning and gratitude and all these different things, like how can we place them in our life in such a way that we don't really have to think about them, we don't have to make this big like song and dance about booking off 10 minutes or 20 minutes or half an hour of time to do these mental exercises. We can just sort of do them and slot them into our day. So here's the thing, this is what I've figured out. We have lots of gaps in our habits, right? And what I mean by that is this. There are many habits that we perform every day, like routines, that have a waiting period. I'm going to give you my perfect example. Every morning, without fail, because I never miss breakfast, I have porridge, right? And it takes me 2 minutes to cook that porridge in the microwave. 2 minutes every day. And I wait for the clock to go down. And it's just a bit nothingy time. It's not long enough to do anything constructive. I'm just a bit like, literally, one of them ones, like wrapping my fingers on the sideboard waiting for this 2 minutes, right? But there's a really like deeply ingrained habit that always happens in my life. 2 minutes. So I thought, hold on a minute. I've got 2 minutes that I could do something constructive, such as meditate. Like it's such a brilliant place to put some of those healthy routines in these habit gaps when we're waiting for something else to happen, rather than just, literally just a bit bored, almost waiting for the clock to tick down to 0. Fill it with something, because you know that habit's already formed, that's actually going to move you towards your goal of being more mentally healthy and vibrant, such as meditation. I know from the science that even a 1 minute meditation is wonderfully good for us, right? It just starts to clear that cognitive load. So a 2 minute meditation is fantastic, right? So literally I've just been playing around with this for the last week or so. It just works so well. Every time, press the button, that triggers a meditation habit. So I just spend that 2 minutes just coming into the present moment. I just let the porridge do its thing and I just come into the present moment. That is meditation, tick. And I know so many people struggle to find the time, as ridiculous as it is. We're all in the same boat. To meditate, for example, they just can't get that formal time. It just doesn't seem to exist. But there it is. It's in waiting for your porridge. Now, it might not be waiting for your porridge. You might have other things where you could slot things such as meditation in, such as waiting for the coffee to brew, or waiting for the tea to brew, or powering up your PC of a morning that takes like 5 minutes for all the applications to sort themselves out and open. It could be waiting for a meeting. So the idea behind this is that you find those things that you do every day, right? So they're real ingrained routines. Find out where there's a little gap, and then just drop something in the gap that's going to keep you moving towards those goals that you've got for yourself to like be mentally or physically healthy. For example, I've just used a mental routine there, such as meditating. You could do 10 press-ups in that 2 minutes. You could do 10 air squats. You could do wall presses, whatever, right? So there, every single day without fail, you could just do this little mini routine as part of a bigger habit that actually moves you towards your fitness goals. So you're creating this little foundation of health by using these little windows of time that are sort of dead time, but they're always there, they're consistent, and just inject these positive little routines. For example, you might want to put your gratitude in one of those pauses. It might be while the PC's waiting to boot up of a morning, or whenever you log onto your PC, actually you just sit there and reflect on 3 things that you're grateful for. It could be that you think about, when I'm going back to that positivity conditioning, those 3 words that describe you, right, as your authentic self. When you're thinking about them and you're feeling those words, maybe it's motivated, energized, and kind. Maybe you use that and put that in one of these habit gaps. And before you know it, as the days played out, without you having to make a big formal move to a journal or going through all these exercises, they've just neatly slotted into your day, a bit like neat exercise, without you ever really sort of going out of your way to do them, if you know what I mean. You've just dropped them into these gaps that always appear consistently every day. Suddenly you're getting 2 minutes of meditation, or you're doing your gratitude, or you're doing your 10 press-ups, or whatever it is. And then here's the secret, where it gets a bit more interesting for me. What you can then do over time is just use that gap as your Kickstarter, and then just extend the gap. So maybe your 2-minute meditation becomes 3 minutes, because actually the bing goes on the microwave for 2 minutes, and you just keep rolling it for 1 more minute or 2 more minutes, and suddenly you've just got this wonderful little routine going on that you couldn't build in your life. You're just using an existing habit and the gap in the habit, and then you're just extending it a bit, and maybe that 2 minutes becomes your 5 minutes meditation, and your job done every day. Or that 2 minutes becomes that 5 minutes press-ups and air squats, whatever it is, you get the idea. But all of a sudden, without thinking or over planning, you've just created all these little foundations of physical health or mental health in your day without having to go out of your way and find time that is so often hard to find. Anyway, so I just thought that's a real little cool thing that's starting to bubble up in my life. It's working brilliantly for me at the moment, and I can see how it might work well for you. So here's what I want you to do. Play along if you wish. Note down all those little gaps. Have a think about your day, like become conscious of those habits and routines that you play out throughout the day, and just notice where there's some gaps, right? And then where you notice those gaps, think about the things that you could drop into those gaps, be it meditation or press-ups or 3 things you're grateful for, right? And then plan them out for tomorrow. See where you can find the gaps and fill the gaps with something good, vibrant and healthy. And then please let me know. I'll be interested. If you're in the free group with me, drop some info in the free group. That'd be pretty cool to see what the gaps are that appear for you, because I'm sure there'll be many unique ones that I haven't even considered. And also let me know the types of thing you're going to drop into the gaps. Cool. All right, let's do this. Let's just see. Brilliant. Terry says, I can empty the dishwasher whilst the kettle boils and my tea brews. I think I'll try meditating during that time instead. There you go, right? These little gaps that are there, that are consistent. That's the key. You get that point. It's a consistent gap that shows up in your life because there's a ready-made routine that you play every day that allows you to be consistent with whatever it is you drop into the space. There we go. Habit stacking. Says Eric, oh, what's this? Chatterjee talks of a 5-minute habit, of this 5-minute habit. All right, brilliant. Yeah, and I'm sure it's one of these things clearly that other people have spoken about, and I just can see how it can work now. I'm really trying to understand how habits are formed, and the key to all of this stuff is you just make it really, really simple, and you don't have to overthink it. And we are such creatures of habit that I think if you do the conscious work to play around with these things, all of a sudden you're doing your 2-minute meditation whilst the porridge is cooking in the microwave without really thinking. And it's a lovely experience to get to the end of the day and go, oh, didn't do my meditation. And then you go, oh, well, actually, I did it. whilst the porridge was cooking. You know, and I think that's the difference. All of a sudden you can just like be strategic with your day, because you do have to design your life and find these little pockets of goodness. I could read War and Peace in the time it takes my laptop to fire up. There you go, right? They are the moments where you're just going, oh, and it's literally like the finger tapping moment of, really? Come on, PC. And you're sitting there for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, like you could feel, and then that's the classic case where people say, I haven't got time to meditate. There it is. It's waiting for you every day or 5 days a week or whatever it is. So forget that sort of dead time. Just fill it with a meditation or, you know, air squats or whatever works for you. Perfect. Hold on. Oh, I thought that was... I'm tempted to have a late night snack, typically crisps or chocolate. I now swap that for fruit or a small bowl of muesli. It still feels like a treat. Exactly right. It's all that stuff. Structure your life. Play around with those habits. Vegas Al says, Mastermind April 19th was just superb. I've ramped up all of the learning in there ever since. I know, it was a great one, wasn't it? Cassie's on, Hells is on, Steve's on, Emma's on. All the greats are on. Right, cool, I'm going to wrap it up there. I just wanted to share that with you. That's something that's working in my life right now. And I just know it's something that you can probably leverage to fire up your life a little bit better. Have a good one all. I'm going to do the one, beer stuff if you want to come and join me for the double. See you later on.